Nobody saw it coming, not the fans in the arena, not the commentators, and not Cody Rhodes himself. What was supposed to be a defining championship defense turned into one of the most shocking betrayals and devastating moments in recent WWE history. Jacob Fatu cost Cody Rhodes his title, and nothing has been the same since. The night began with electricity in the air. Cody Rhodes walked into the arena carrying the championship over his shoulder, the weight of the WWE Universe riding with him. The crowd sang his song, believing, as they always do, that Cody would overcome whatever obstacle stood in front of him. He spoke earlier in the night about legacy, about defending the title against anyone, anytime, anywhere. He said champions don't run from challenges. They meet them head-on. Then came Drew McIntyre. Drew didn't waste words. He didn't smile. He didn't play to the crowd. He said Cody's story was inspiring, but stories end. He said championships don't belong to dreamers forever. They belong to warriors who are willing to take them by force. Drew promised that by the end of the night, the title would come home with him. The bell rang, and the match began with intensity from the very first second. Drew used his size and power to overwhelm Cody early, driving him into corners, throwing him across the ring, testing his endurance. Cody responded with speed, precision, and heart. Quick strikes, sharp counters, constant movement. The champion refused to be slowed down. The match turned into a war. Drew landed thunderous chops that echoed through the arena. Cody answered with disaster kicks, Cody cutters, and relentless pressure. Near falls piled up. Drew kicked out of Crossroads. Cody barely survived a Claymore attempt. The crowd was fully invested, knowing they were witnessing something special. As the minutes passed, the physical toll became clear. Cody's ribs were targeted. Drew's legs began to weaken. Both men were battered, exhausted, but unwilling to quit. This wasn't just about a title anymore. This was about pride, about proving who truly belonged at the top. Then something strange happened. The camera briefly cut to the crowd, and a figure appeared in the aisle. Jacob Fatu. At first, the audience didn't react. Some didn't even realize what they were seeing. But then the murmurs started. The whispers turned into gasps. Jacob Fatu stood there, calm, focused, dangerous. No music, no announcement, just presence. The commentators were stunned. They questioned why Fatu was here. He had no declared allegiance in this match. No official involvement. No reason to be ringside. Inside the ring, Cody and Drew continued to fight, unaware of what was about to happen. Cody connected with Crossroads. Once, twice. The crowd erupted. Cody went for the third. And that's when it happened. Jacob Fatu jumped onto the apron. The referee turned. Cody hesitated. That single moment changed everything. Cody stopped, confusion flashing across his face. Drew capitalized instantly, shoving Cody into the ropes. Cody rebounded, right into a brutal Claymore. The impact shook the ring. 1, 2, Cody kicked out. The arena exploded. Drew couldn't believe it. The referee couldn't believe it. And Jacob Fatu smiled. The match continued, but the momentum had shifted. Cody was shaken, not just physically, but mentally. He kept glancing toward Fatu, trying to understand why he was there, what he wanted, and what his endgame was. Fatu didn't interfere again. He didn't need to. His presence was enough. Drew pressed the advantage, targeting Cody's ribs relentlessly. Powerbombs, spinebusters, relentless punishment. Cody fought back with everything he had left, summoning the energy of the crowd, refusing to go down. He landed another Cody cutter, another Crossroads, but he couldn't capitalize. Every time Cody tried to finish the match, his focus broke for just a split second, his eyes drifting toward Jacob Fatu, who stood there unmoving, watching like a predator waiting for the final blow. Then came the final moment. Cody went for one last Crossroads. Drew countered. Cody escaped. He turned, straight into Jacob Fatu's grip on the ropes. The referee didn't see it. Fatu yanked Cody forward and smashed him face first into the top rope. Cody collapsed. Drew didn't hesitate. Claymore. 1, 2, 3. The bell rang. A new champion was crowned. The arena fell into stunned silence before erupting into chaos. Drew McIntyre sat on his knees, holding the championship, disbelief etched across his face. He didn't celebrate immediately. He looked straight at Jacob Fatu. Fatu nodded. Cody Rhodes lay motionless in the ring, his story ripped away in an instant. Jacob Fatu stepped into the ring slowly. He didn't attack Cody again. He didn't celebrate with Drew. He simply stood over the fallen former champion, staring down at him with cold intensity. Then he turned and walked away, leaving destruction in his wake. The commentators were speechless. Why Jacob Fatu? Why now? And why Cody? Backstage, chaos erupted. Officials rushed to Cody. Drew was interviewed moments later, still breathing heavily, still processing what had happened. Drew said he didn't ask for Jacob Fatu's help. He said he doesn't care how the title came to him, it's his now. He warned anyone watching that the era of mercy is over. Later in the night, cameras caught Jacob Fatu backstage. He finally spoke. He said Cody Rhodes represents everything people cheer for, but not everything that survives. He said titles don't belong to storytellers. They belong to destroyers. And he said Cody's reign had to end, because it was standing in the way of what comes next. The WWE universe exploded with reaction. Fans were furious, shocked, confused. Some called it a robbery. Others called it inevitable. Wrestling forums lit up with theories. Was Jacob Fatu aligning with Drew McIntyre? Was this part of a larger power shift? Or was Fatu simply making a statement that no one, not even Cody Rhodes, is safe? The fallout was immediate. On the next show, Cody Rhodes appeared with fire in his eyes. He didn't look broken. He looked dangerous. He said he wasn't mad about losing the title. He was mad about how it was taken. He said Jacob Fatu didn't just cost him a championship, he disrespected everything he stands for. Cody promised payback. He promised that Jacob Fatu would learn exactly what happens when you insert yourself into someone else's story. Drew McIntyre, now champion, made it clear that he wasn't backing down from either man. He said if Jacob Fatu thinks he can control the landscape, he's wrong. And if Cody wants his title back, he's going to have to walk through hell to get it. 3 men, 1 championship, and a collision that feels inevitable. Jacob Fatu didn't just cost Cody Rhodes his title. He ignited a war built on power, pride, and destruction. And the WWE universe is about to witness the consequences. The war didn't end there. It had only just begun. The following week, the arena felt different. Heavier, tense, as if everyone in attendance knew something violent was about to happen. There was no opening celebration. No jokes. No feel-good moments. The show opened with silence, and then Cody Rhodes' music hit. But this wasn't the Cody the fans were used to. No smile. No pause to soak in the cheers. No slapping hands on the ramp. Cody walked straight to the ring with purpose, eyes locked forward, jaw clenched. He stood in the center of the ring and waited for the crowd to quiet down. When he finally spoke, his voice was calm, but dangerous. He said last week wasn't just about losing a championship. He said it was about disrespect. About someone deciding they could rewrite his story without permission. He said Jacob Fatu didn't just interfere in a match, he crossed a line. Cody admitted something that shocked everyone. He said when Jacob Fatu grabbed the ropes, when he felt himself pulled into that moment of chaos, something snapped inside him. Not doubt, not fear, rage. Cody said he didn't come back to WWE to be a pawn in someone else's power play. He didn't fight through generations of pressure just to be erased by a man who thrives on destruction. Then he said the words everyone was waiting for. Jacob Fatu, get out here. Now. The crowd erupted. Seconds passed. Nothing. Cody smirked slightly, nodding as if he expected this. He said he knew Fatu wouldn't show up face to face, not yet. He said predators like to strike when backs are turned. And that's when the lights dimmed. The camera cut backstage. Jacob Fatu stood in a darkened hallway, arms crossed, expression unreadable. He didn't shout. He didn't pace. He spoke slowly, deliberately. He said Cody talks about legacy. About family. About stories. But he said stories don't scare him. What scares people is force. He said Cody had been protected by cheers, by respect, by nostalgia. And then Jacob Fatu said something that shook the room. He said Cody Rhodes was never supposed to be champion this long. He said the system wanted a hero. But the future demands something else. Then the feed cut. Back in the ring, Cody stood silent. The crowd chanted his name, but he didn't acknowledge it. He simply nodded once, as if accepting a challenge he already knew was coming. Later that night, Drew McIntyre made his first appearance as champion. No celebration, no fireworks. Drew stood in the ring with the title over his shoulder and addressed the elephant in the room. He said he didn't plan for Jacob Fatu to get involved, but he wasn't going to apologize for winning. He said champions don't ask questions. They take advantage. But then Drew turned serious. He said Jacob Fatu may think he's pulling strings, but Drew McIntyre bows to no one. He said if Fatu believes he can stand behind the scenes and control the outcome, he's mistaken. That's when Jacob Fatu appeared. Not on the screen, in the ring, he slid in behind Drew like a shadow. The crowd exploded as Drew slowly turned around, face to face with the man who changed everything. The tension was unreal. No punches thrown, no movement, just two powerful men standing inches apart. Jacob Fatu broke the silence. He said Drew did exactly what he was supposed to do. He finished the job. He said the title needed to move forward, not backward. And for now, Drew McIntyre is useful. That word echoed. Useful. Drew's eyes narrowed. He said he doesn't need anyone's approval. He said he'll defend the title against anyone, including Jacob Fatu. Fatu smiled. He said that moment will come. But not yet. Then he left the ring, brushing past Drew without touching him, leaving behind uncertainty and a warning. The main event that night never even finished. As Cody Rhodes faced another opponent, the lights went out again. When they came back on, Jacob Fatu was standing on the stage. Cody turned, furious, ready for a fight. And that's when Drew McIntyre attacked Cody from behind. The crowd erupted in boos as Drew smashed Cody into the mat, unloading with brutal strikes. Jacob Fatu watched from the stage, arms crossed, approving. Drew hoisted Cody up for a claymore. But Cody slipped free. Cross Rhodes. The ring exploded. Before Cody could recover, Jacob Fatu stormed down the ramp. This time, there was no hesitation. Fatu charged into the ring and destroyed Cody. Headbutts, superkicks, a brutal pop-up Samoan drop that shook the mat. The referee screamed for help as officials poured in. Drew backed away, watching as Fatu delivered one final, devastating splash. Jacob Fatu stood over Cody's broken body once again. But this time, he spoke directly to him. He said this is what happens when stories meet reality. He said Cody wanted a villain. Now he has one. The weeks that followed turned WWE into a battleground. Cody Rhodes refused to stay down. Every time he was cleared, he came back swinging. He attacked Drew McIntyre backstage. He tried to get his hands on Jacob Fatu at every opportunity, but Fatu always stayed one step ahead. Management finally made it official. A triple threat match. Cody Rhodes vs Drew McIntyre vs Jacob Fatu. The championship on the line. The announcement sent shockwaves through the wrestling world. Drew promised to crush them both. Jacob Fatu promised destruction. And Cody Rhodes promised redemption. On the final show before the match, all three men stood in the ring. No interruptions. No ambushes. Just words. Cody said this wasn't about the title anymore. This was about taking his story back. He said he would go through both men if he had to. Drew said champions survive chaos, and he thrives in it. Jacob Fatu said chaos is where he was born. The stare-down was electric. 3 men, 3 paths, 1 inevitable collision. Jacob Fatu didn't just cost Cody Rhodes his title. He rewrote the entire landscape. And at the next premium live event, only one man would walk out standing.